My phone go.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Welcome to tonight's show. Dame, you want to say what up?
What up, though? I'm sorry. That's not my intro. Hola. That's
That's
my intro.
your intro. What up, folks? We are in the building. It is June 20th, 2022, and we have a great show lined up as usual. Still waiting on the rest of the folks to get in. Hopefully, we'll see them here shortly. But until then, we'll hold down the fort as we usually do. Uh, so tonight we have a great show lined up. But yesterday, we kicked off one of our newest shows, the One Crazy Month show with me and Dame. So make sure you guys go check out the replay of that. That's available free on the replays on Facebook, Facebook Watch, YouTube, and Twitch. So make sure you guys go check that out. You can see all the fun we had last night. We had some great commenters in the or great folks in the comments, as well as they were all good people, as well as some great topics that we discussed. Sunny just announced that she will be live. Sex with Sunny Live will be this Friday, June 24th at 6 p.m. So make sure you guys check that out. She's going to talk about kissing and telling. So we're going to chop it up about that on Friday evening. I'm going to be available Friday. Hopefully I will. Hopefully I'll be there. I'm sure Dame will be in the comments, so you know how we do it. And then Sunday we should have another episode of the Fans Perspective. So they're going to be bringing you guys some sports and all the scores that you're looking for and analysis and you know what else is going on in sports right now? Is it the playoffs still?
Oh, it's over with. Steph Curry won.
Oh, okay.
Like, like I said from fans' perspective 2 weeks ago, I told them Golden State in six.
Oh,
Nobody believes a black guy, and and I'm going to drug test
but they're
each and
all
every
they're
panel
all
member.
black on that show. I don't know. Anyway, so so make sure you guys
And
get
yeah,
with
I'm going to drug
Dane,
test. I'm
Move,
going to
and the
drug.
rest of the guys over there.
I'm going to drug test each and every one of the panelists too, because those guys, LeBron's not the greatest. Okay, calm, calm. I need you to bring it down just a little bit.
Right, right. Well, in the meantime, while you guys are checking us out, make sure you also get some of our merchandise over at gftradio.creator-spring.com, where you can find t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, all kinds of apparel, as well as things like fanny packs and drinking glasses. So, you could turn up when we do game night with us in style with the GFT radio show glass. So make sure you guys get some of that merchandise. Support us while we support you. Well, I think I just saw a text message from Sunny. So we definitely have gotten some. Oh, okay. She forgot about tonight. Okay, so hopefully she'll be in a little bit later. So we'll see how that goes. But until then, we're going to get started with the show. We're going to talk about he lost interest. So what went wrong? So we're going to talk about relationships that go sour either in the dating phase or maybe even the marriage phase, as well as what went wrong during those relationships, and especially from a man's perspective of what causes us to decide that we want to end a relationship. So got a couple of fresh to death fellas on the line for you. So hopefully we can give you some insight and some food for thought as we talk about this topic. So, Dane, you've been a man of the world before, and you know a thing or two about some relationships, I'm sure. Um,
I dated one woman and married one woman.
if only that were true. If only that were true. So, let's start off with just the basically the base topic, and that's what causes um, your interest to be lost in a relationship, or while you're dating, not even in a relationship yet. What causes you to think twice about moving forward while you're dating?
family, her family, to see her side, how she interacts with other people. Is she a good person? Is she boring? Is she and as Sonny would like to play it, not good looking what did you say, looking challenge or challenge looking, whatever.
Visually
N-
challenged?
n- physically challenged.
No.
I don't know whatever she says about them not being very good looking.
Oh, okay.
Um
Okay.
that's not a big thing. But intellectually challenged. Like
Yeah.
she be dull when people are just dull.
Hmm.
I had one girl agree with my boy. She was like Vanessa Bale from Coming to America.
Oh, right.
Whatever you like,
Hmm.
whatever you like. Like, what do you like? You know, what do you like to do if whatever you like? It's like, no, you have to have something. You have to have some type of input.
Man, so I talked to a young lady about that before because I think we've all, not all, maybe all, but quite a few of us have run into that situation where it seems that we are dating someone who's either has no particular personal interest in anything or is super ultra, I'm gonna just let this man lead, right? And she kind of explained it to me from her point of view that that's the thing for her, is that she wants to see what the guy wants to comes up with, what he's gonna devise and figure out for them to do and that kind of thing. And one tidbit she gave me, so that I've kind of incorporated. I still, like you said, I still want a woman who can basically think for herself as well as give me her own personal opinion about things. But I think sometimes women will give us that information, but we're not listening, right? And so then we end up thinking that us going, hey, what do you want to do? Or what do you think about this? And they're like, what you want to do, or what do you think? That kind of thing. Not to say that it's a test, but it's more of a, hey, you know what? I've told you what I like. I've explained to you what I get into, what I don't get into. And if you come up with an idea and I'm against it, I'm going to say, no, that's not working for me. And she said that when she dates, she's very um, blunt about that kind of thing. Like if it's something that she, obviously can't do or obviously can't get into, she'll make that known. But she says that she's not offering up dating advice to a grown man. So, take it for what you like, what you want. Because and I think that also it speaks to her experience though too, because she's also dated men who have taken, total charge of basically the relationship and said, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And then if she was good with it, she was good with it. And if she wasn't, she would just say, oh, hey, that doesn't work for me. Or you have something else that you could plan or something else in mind. And I think that um, if you have the faculties to do that and figure that out, or if you can pay attention enough to do that, then I think it works out. But if you're, I mean, I won't call a guy lazy for not being able to, come out with the right plan at the right time and for the right person. But I think sometimes we do have to pay attention a bit to say, okay, you know what? When I talk to her about, X, Y, and Z, she told me she loves X, she doesn't like Z, and Y is a sometimes. Then you know how to lead into the next thing. But to your point, we also don't want someone who just has no, I mean, especially at this age, you know what I mean? That's my thing, especially at this age, in late 30s, 40s, especially 50s, you know, being able to have some experience already to be able to say, for a woman to say, yes, I like this, and you be able to say, okay, well then let's go do that. And so then that way you guys are, you know, on the same page. Um,
That that and sometimes we're so busy and wrapped up in our own thing. Sometimes we don't think about it until the last minute. Like, oh shoot, I should have thought about that sooner. No, because guys, for some reason, at least me, we might just be, super busy. We got family. Like, I should
mhm.
have thought about that sooner. Dang it, my bad. We'll do this next time. Completely forget and
Bro,
complete complete the cycle. Complete the
yeah,
cycle.
perfect example, right? You just gave us a perfect example. I ran into that one time a while back where I went to an event, and I had been talking to this girl, and we were discussing something or whatever, and we had been texting back and forth. And so I think I had mentioned that I was going to the event, but I didn't invite her to the. And no, no, I take that back. I didn't even. I know I was going to a restaurant, but I hadn't mentioned that I was going to the restaurant, earlier in the day. It was like a tentative plan anyway. I wasn't really sure if I was going, and well, I ended up going in the middle of just like you know what, I have nothing else better to do right now. I'm gonna go to this restaurant, go hang out with some friends or whatever. So I go, I hang out, everything is cool. I think I had talked to her maybe an hour before that. And then I talked to her the next day, and she made a comment about something, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I went and did this with the fellas or whatever, and one thing led to another. We got food, we got drinks, and blah 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 blah." And she was like, "Oh," she was like, no, it wasn't even just the fellas. It was like just a bunch of friends of mine." And so she was like, "Oh, if you let me know, I probably would have came out." And I was like, oh, damn. You know what I mean? It's like I should have thought of that. But like you said, we get caught up and we don't think about everything. So, I try to keep that in mind sometimes now. Like, okay, I better keep that in mind, think about that. It's something that I hadn't encountered in the past, or at least no one had brought to my attention. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's another thing about experience is that when you experience certain things, or you get into certain situations, you learn from those situations, right? I think we've talked about a relationship I had in the past that, I learned a lot from that woman. Even though it didn't work out, I just didn't click with her. But she taught me a lot about how to date. You know what I'm saying? Not because I asked, but just from the experience of being with her. So, yeah.
Yeah. For me, clinginess. I need some type of space. I need being so
Really?
clingy. Yeah, I don't like 24/7. Yeah, maybe a couple of times out the day or week, month, year. But this all the time. Like, can I get some space? Come on. I dealt with that for 3 years. I'm like, I don't like this.
Really? Oh, wow.
I,
Wow.
I
Okay.
actually,
Okay. I
and
mean, but no, I don't know why I'm saying really like that, because to be honest, I know a lot of guys like that. I know a lot of guys, especially guys like you that are big into sports, big into gaming, big into physical activity, stuff like that. Where it's like you like to spend time with your woman, but not like all the time, because you want to have time for your activities and the things that you like to do, which are like your decompression times.
that and I was in my 20s. My boy is a couple of years older than me. He got married. Um, she went everywhere with us.
Mm,
Like,
mm.
we went to go hoop. She didn't hoop. I mean, she could, but she did not hoop. She'll just go there to heckle. I love to, she was like my sister. But every time he went to go hoop, that was an extra space. She would go. He
Right,
did
right.
not. He every time he went to go hoop, they would hoop. So it was
So,
like,
but was he into that? Was he against it?
I mean, he was okay with it, but they're not together anymore. Still, no, stuff like that. He
Yeah,
said, "Dang, every time we went, because he was like, that's my wife. Just one of those things he gave in on. You know,
got you, got you,
you know,
got
you
you.
know. Sometimes,
And
sometimes some compromise is it worth the hassle or is it like that's probably one of the things he can live with.
got you. Yeah, yeah. No,
Me,
that's
me, mm-mm.
and that's but no, you just made a good point about it. It's was this a compromise that he had to make in order to keep the relationship happy, right? And it ended up, like you said, it ended up being something that he didn't enjoy or didn't like, and compromising about it. He allowed it, and it probably became a habit. And then he just felt like he couldn't go back on it and say, "Hey, you know what? This isn't working for me, or this isn't my preferred situation." And like you said, that was his wife at that point, and it's not really, he probably didn't want to rock the boat. But I think sometimes we have to be honest. And that could have been his age. You said they got married in their 20s. I think now that I've well, probably two because I've been married before, but also now that I'm in my 40s, I've gotten better at being honest about how I feel about things. I'm like, hey, this is how I feel about this. This is how I feel about that. I don't like certain things, and I'll let a woman know, like, look, I'm not into this. I'm not going to do this. Blah blah blah. But for me, clinginess, bro, no, bring the clinginess, ladies. Bring it on. I need all the clinginess, ladies. If you want to cling to your man, you need a guy like me because nah, bro, nah. You want to come hoop? Let's go
Let me
hoop. you
let
you
me
you
let
want to
me.
you want to Netflix and chill? Let's Netflix and chill. You want to text me all day? Text me all day.
I,
You
I,
want
I'm
to
I'm
dog? I
texting
mean,
your girl what you. I'm texting your girl right now. Let you know you were propositioning other women right now. Just let you
hey,
know.
hey, I'm over here like whatever clinginess you got, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So uh, my thing is that I feel like I and that was one of the things that I didn't realize was so important to me because I needed um the companionship of being close to somebody or feeling like I had a need for um, you know the constant contact. Sierra says interest is lost because two people didn't discuss thank you, Sierra. They didn't discuss the necessary before they started out. Hey Britt, how you doing?
Hey, hey,
We're
Bert.
so going back to Sierra's comment, she said that they didn't discuss the necessary before they started out, and that's the thing. When you start out, you have to be conscious of what you want out of a relationship and what you require or what's your deal breakers and that kind of thing. And I think that the compromises sometimes go too far, like in the case of your friend who probably didn't allow his boundaries to be set up properly before he proceeded with that compromise. Also, when you know what you want and you know that the person can't fulfill it and you allow it anyway, it's like you're setting yourself up for failure. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest thing, is being conscious of what you want. We're gonna get back to Sierra again. We're gonna get into that topic later. We're gonna subtopic later. We're gonna talk about how do you prepare for dating and how do you prepare for relationships in terms of what do you do to get started so that you understand about things about yourself, so that you can tell people that you're dating without feeling, confused about your own needs. You know what I'm saying?
Now, it's another interest. Why they may lose interest. Actually, I was talking to a friend of mine today. About some guys being insecure and intimidated by certain women. So,
Mm-hmm.
guys, some guys don't articulate their emotions and what they're thinking and feeling. They don't go hand in hand for some reason. Um, Maybe they're insecure about something the woman is bringing to the table, and they try to push their insecurities on a woman, and they just destroy the relationship altogether. It's like you didn't even give it a chance just because she might make more money than you or something like that, or something meant like mentally or emotionally that the woman has over the guy that he might be insecure about.
Mm-hmm.
Insecurities can be make a way of somebody to lose interest too. Like I ain't hanging with her. Like
Right.
Sonny, I don't, no, I've known Sonny for how many years now? I don't know. Um, she's a strong-willed person. Right? No, she just left the camera. Dang it, waste, wasted compliment. Um, she catching on replay.
Yeah, she yeah, about to say yeah, she'll catch
She
up with
catching on
you.
replay. So some guys can't take a strong-willed woman who's very vocal and speaks her mind.
Oh yeah, true that, true that. Yeah, and that's the thing too is the inability to handle or be um receptive to what that person that you're dating is able to give you. What up, though, Sonny? How you
Oh,
feeling?
hey, Sonny, did you hear my compliment to you? Because
I heard it partially. I got a 9-year-old that's still up. I completely
you
sorry for
can
the
you can
text.
watch
I
the replay.
completely forgot
So
about it.
you can watch the replay.
So yeah, so Sonny, we're talking about why is interest lost and how it happens. Dame has mentioned, you know, him not liking clinginess, and you know, we were talking about how, you know, a lot of men are like that, as well as, but I'm, you know, I'm the clean king. How some relationships end over, you know, sacrifices and compromises that just don't work out for people. What are some of the things that you feel are the basis of interest being lost while dating?
Are we talking about how when men lose interest, or are we talking about?
Well, I mean, it can be men or in general. We've been talking about men because it's just me and him, but
I feel like some, as from a female perspective, we lose interest when there's lack of consistency. And I know a lot of guys like clinginess. A lot of people don't like that, but it's guys that like that. They can't be by themselves too long because then they feel like they got to outsource it to somebody else because they just need to constantly be around people. And this is how you get people that be doing too much. But the one thing I feel like for a female, for
I want
me,
to
is
think
lack
about
of
too much.
inconsistency. It's an issue for me because if you're not consistent, I'm gonna lose interest because it's like I have a whole lot of free time on my hands and you're not consistently opportunity because and it's even that or initiative is another thing. You lack initiative.
See, we talked about that too because initiative for some people could mean having the forethought to do certain things without, you know, with limited information or with just enough information.
Yeah, because
So
I'm a big person of if we say something, I'm not gonna check up on you to make sure that we still doing it.
right,
As far as
right,
I'm concerned, we're still doing it until you tell me otherwise. Something happened. So the need to it's different than planning an event and getting people to help you and making sure that everybody at the last minute you checking to make sure everybody can still do what they're supposed to do. But it's different with a date setting. If we speak from right now and I say, Willie, me and you going out to this, we going to the spot in 3 weeks. I'm not about to keep reminding you we going to the spot in 3 weeks.
yeah, yeah,
You're a grown ass person like I am. I should be remembering. I should have things in order to make sure I can go to the spot in 3 weeks. You're not. I'm not going to remind you. And if you are one of those guys who says, "I need you to tell me in the next that day," because I'm going to assume it's still up in the air because we didn't solidly say this time. This we just said that we're going here. We didn't say a
right,
time, but I'm not the only time. The only reason why you should be checking up on me is saying, "Hey, what time is good to go?"
right, right.
Versus are we still going? Oh, you didn't text me, so I didn't know we were still going. We grown as shit. I don't got time to be calling you like I'm telling my 9-year-old, hey babe, we gotta get ready. We gotta get up in 5 minutes. Hey, we gotta get ready
Right,
for
right.
like I'm not about to, I'm not like
Yeah, well, and you know, and that's a real thing. So what she's speaking on is a real thing, and I've encountered women who, you know, kind of have been victims of that, and then they do get into that habit of like, oh, you know, I gotta let you know, and it's like, no, you don't. It's going to be in my calendar. You know what I'm saying? It's either in my calendar or it's locked in. You know, because I want to do this, or I want this to happen. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of guys who either just don't know how to use a calendar or are wishy-washy,
and don't
and you know,
communicate.
yeah, yeah, or they want you to over communicate, you know,
Yeah, and
about something
it's
that
people
doesn't
that
need to
do
be
that too. It's
discussed.
regular people that do that. Right?
Hmm.
Like even with me and Smooth when we doing the baseball thing. Hey, we going this day? All right, cool. Unless I tell you something up with my child or you tell me something up with your child, we still going. We don't need to be communicating all day up until the day that it's happening. Like, nah, we ain't even about to do all that. Like, I'm not about to do all that. I
Right.
know from Frack, Smooth wasn't about to do all that. We verbally communicated that one time. All right. It's cool to check in, like if it's a week out or a couple days before that we still good for this because the weather. Like if it's a weather situation, we still cool for this. The weather looking
Right.
like
Right.
this.
Exactly. Yeah.
But other than that, it's like the day of. If he reaching out to me, he either telling me he on his way or what time, or I'm reaching out to him saying confirming what time should I be ready because I don't want you waiting on me. Like
Right.
it.
Right.
Other than that, I'm
That's
not
it.
about to
Yeah.
you.
No.
We
No. I
grown
feel
as
you.
hell.
I
I'm
feel
not
you.
walking you
Yeah.
through this process. You should be adult enough, and that lets me know that you're not responsible enough to keep to the task or be or be consistent, because that's a consistency thing for me.
Yeah. What
I
up,
need you to
Smooth?
be that way, because if I say we doing this, we
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah, Smooth said that's the
You say
truth.
it.
Sierra said amen, so they definitely agree with you there. Anything else that you feel like makes you lose interest or causes your interest to waver?
Lies, of course, that's number one, right?
Yeah, that's a
Um,
that's a
You
big
if
one.
you can't trust the person you with,
it's
yeah, it's over.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not even that. It's it's the little things that people, and it's not even like a big lie, like I'm cheating, I got other people on the side lie, right? It's just the unconscious consequential, unproductive lies that I hate.
I
right.
had
The
I
minute
I didn't have
lie
that snack cake on the side, but
is
you can
is a
tell off your
problem for
face.
me. Well, it's not even that. It's something so simple as
Yeah,
um something simple as you get in the dating phase, who you live with.
Oh man.
Some mind, like you just asking that, like, what's your living situation? Oh,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. This that, I got a hot place or
where you
whatever the case may
where you
be.
work at?
Some people
Or
be
where you
so
work at, man, that's a big one too that
that,
people
that's
lie
nothing,
about.
like this is it matters, but it's something that you shouldn't lie about, right?
Right, right.
Because it's just gonna find
Yeah,
out.
no, I was just watching Married at First Sight season 10, and they had a couple that was experiencing that where the guy literally was lying about everything,
Who? What's
little
his name?
things.
Michael.
Michael, yeah, yeah,
Michael was a
he was
super
lying
liar.
about everything,
Michael
little
lied
things, big
unproductively for no
things.
reason,
Yeah, he was
just
lying about
cause.
his aspirations, his job situation, why he didn't brush his
But
teeth
see,
this morning.
but for me, and I understand that situation, I don't have time for that, because it's the for like, if I get that on first, second, third date vibes, there's not going to be any more dates. I'm not about to waste my time because you're lying about stuff that just makes no sense to lie about. Like,
Right,
I'm not
right,
saying, like, if you ask me what I do, I'm gonna tell you my job. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm this, and this. No, this is what I do.
right,
So
right.
it's like,
Yeah,
or this is
yeah.
where I
There's no
live.
reason for that. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
Smooth said something that turns him off is poor communication skills. So yeah, definitely that's a big one. And we all are big on communication. We talk about that constantly. And one of the things I think Smooth kind of schooled me on a few years back was not only having communicate, that communication was key in a relationship, but that good communication, and understanding, being able to listen to understand versus listening to talk, and that's a big one. That's a big one that a lot of people get lost on, is that they'd rather either argue you down, or when they're communicating with you, they're barely paying attention to you, but they're just waiting on their space to talk in, and that kind of thing, and that
Now they
that is
waiting for trigger
enormous.
words to set them off. And that's
Yeah, yeah.
and that's another thing too. When you listen, you got to also, like, and that's the thing, because I have a like, I understand that, but I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what that means,
Hmm.
because sometimes you're listening and you're hearing what they're saying, but you also need, and I know Smooth's going to be like, but you also, sometimes it's not, you could tell when somebody's just waiting to talk versus responding to what you said to them.
Right, yeah, yeah. No, that's
and
definitely what we're
and and,
talking
and
about. Yeah.
either trying, because I do that a lot of people, like, sometimes when people say stuff to me, I want to clarify what you're saying.
Hmm.
So while I'm listening to you, I'm also in my head trying to wrap around what exactly you're saying versus what I'm hearing, because you can
Okay.
hear something and it's not what they meant,
Well, yeah, and I was just about to say, and that's the thing. There's sometimes there's
because
people
it's
who,
trigger.
well, yeah, there's some people who say things and they're unable to
Effectively
vocalize their
communicate.
feelings, or they're unable to articulate their true intentions, or unable to say things in the right way where it's cohesive, right? And I think that's challenging for those of us who have the mental faculties to process, but not the patience to translate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that clarifying is essential when you're confused, or you're unsure of what a person means, or what what their intentions are. But it's also one of those situations where they just may have poor communication skills and not be able to, speak to you on the level where you're understanding them. And once again, going back to Married at First Sight, there was a guy on there who also had trouble communicating. I mean, he left everybody dumbfounded because he would be trying to say things, but he could never vocalize
I can't think of his
his.
name, but I know that you're talking about.
Yeah, you can't. He couldn't vocalize his true intention. Well, I think because he was also lying most of the time. Like when he was talking, when he was speaking on things that he was passionate about or that he was for real about, he's it was clear and it was understandable. But when he started lying or trying to hide things, then it got real confusing. And I think some people will also feel that way when they're talking to someone and they're like, well, if I don't understand what you're talking about because you're talking in circles, then more than likely you either lying to me, hiding something, or trying to, skirt the question. So I
Yeah,
think that, it's important to recognize the difference. Smooth
exactly.
agreed. That's exactly what I mean. Um, and I don't know what Dane just said. He said, talk about communication. so, um, so for me, some of the reasons I've lost interest in dating is because some of the things that have been mentioned: lack of communication skills, the inability to basically have your own thing going on. It's because for me, I'm always busy. I'm always busy. I'm always involved in something. But I always make time for a person that I'm either dating or trying to establish something with. If we're going to just be hanging out, I got friends that I just hang out with. I got friends that I go out with and do things, do events. I got friends that I travel with. I have friends, and then I have people when I'm, women when I'm dating that I'm trying to do all of those things. So I think that for me, if that person is literally just waiting on my phone call or waiting, and there's nothing wrong to not have a busy schedule. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But what I mean is like your life is just on hold. And because I think that a lot of times because what I found, this is just my personal experience, a lot of times those kind of people, A, don't have friends, B, don't have the social aptitude to be out here doing anything other than working and going home and taking care of their kids or whatever the case may be. Or they're just not compatible with me. One thing that one of my good friends told me was like, you need somebody who is going to be able to keep up with what you want to do. And to Sunny's point earlier, even though she was trying to shade, I like to do the most. And when I do the most, I need you to do the most with me. And when it's time to not do the most, that's fine. We can not do the most to get clingy. You know what I'm saying? Because I like that. But for the most part, I like to get out. I like to do things. I like to have fun. I like experiences. But I can't do that with a person who rather just not do anything at all, or their life experience hasn't really shown them a lot to the point where and I don't mind showing a person around town. I don't mind showing, giving people new experiences. But if you're at the point where you're not even, able to understand the magnitude of what's going on, that's problematic for me. Another issue that I have sometimes is uh, just basically people who are trying to take advantage, you know what I'm saying? And being that I am a very giving person, I'm the kind of guy that I like to pay for the dates. I like to provide. I like to do. I'm like, oh, you know what, I got this going on, you want to go, blah, blah, blah. So it's like I'm the kind of guy that like to do that. But it's like when you're just taking advantage of my you know
Good
of
nature.
my niceness, or my, or I can't think of the word right now. Would you say
Good
that?
nature.
My
Good
good
nature.
nature, it gets, like, one, I can spot it, not initially, but I can spot it after some time. And then once I spot it, because that's the thing. For me, if I spot that you're a user, I will definitely shut down, and I will also get real resentful because I'm like, by the time I realize it, it's too late. You know what I mean? Because I know that I'm not the kind of person. I give people the benefit of the doubt. That's the thing. I give people the benefit of the doubt, or I feel like they're leading with good intentions. So it's like, oh, if you ask me for something, or you want me to do something for you, or you ask me for a gift or whatever, and if that it becomes a norm, or if that becomes a thing because you know that I'm that kind of person, then we're gonna have problems, because if I notice that you're just in it for that, then that's gonna be problematic.
I also feel like too, another reason why I lose interest, because I just thought
Mhm.
about it, is when you're overtly emotional at the very beginning. I'm talking date 1, 2, 3. You're in your feelings ASAP.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's a
moving way too fast.
it's it's a it's a it's a very it's the quickest way I could lose interest with somebody. And it's not to say like I definitely want a guy that's into me, probably more so me into me more than I'm into him, because when I'm into a guy more than he is me, it doesn't work out for me. And that's what they say. They say, man, if you got to find a man that's more interested in you than you're in him, because that well, it works out. I don't know how, but I guess,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, sometimes that does work. Sometimes
Yeah.
it does.
And for me, the opposite has not worked for me, so I need to try this other way, right?
Yeah.
But that much, like, it makes me feel awkward, and I because I'm not there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It goes into the conversation we had before about being happy. I mean, me had a crush on Willie for 20 years, and now I'm dating Willie's. So my mind is dating Willie since I first met him 20 years ago versus to who Willie is right now. So I'm already in love. He just went on the first date with me, and I'm acting like we just been together
Oh yeah,
forever.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Um, it's problematic, and it's
yeah,
scary to somebody, because it's like you feel like you're gonna let them, like you. And that's one thing I have about like people liking me as much as I like them. I feel like you have this ideal of who I am, and I'm gonna let you down.
Well,
So
okay.
that's
it makes me lose interest in you, because if I had any interest in you, I lose it, because I'm not going to live up to what you want me to be. I'm definitely going to let you down,
Not gonna live
and
up to
it's
that.
going
That
to
makes you
be
have
and
yeah,
it's going to be an issue, because
yeah.
this ideal of who I am is not actually who I am. You don't know
because
me.
yeah, because most people are dating the thought or idea of what you're supposed to be or who they had that fantasy.
Hmm.
You're not supposed to, you're not supposed to date your fantasy
Right.
because they're always going to let you down because they're
It's
human.
going to be devastating. And like,
Yeah,
I need you
and
to know, and that's why I always say, I need you to know that I'm a real person. Like,
Mm,
I got
mm,
flaws. I'm not
right.
this ideal of who you think I am. I'm flawed. More now than I ever was in my entire life.
Okay.
So dating me now, right now, at this moment, is not ideal. I'm a ball of emotions all over the place. So what you thought you was gonna get is not that. I'm one minute I'm fine, next minute I'm all over the place. So like
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like I feel like that to me is it makes me lose interest, because it's a scary thing to be up on a pedestal that you didn't want to be on in the first place, and to let
Yeah.
but
Well,
somebody
you know,
in.
I made that mistake in my marriage, was putting a person up on a pedestal, and you know, I don't think I was dating an idea or marrying an idea, but I was pushing her up on a pedestal that she didn't, you know, probably think that she needed to be on. And definitely, you know, I fell hard in the end of that,
that
because of the fact that I had these higher expectations than she was able to deliver. Sierra said, "Listen to understand instead of listen to respond." Exactly, Sierra.
and
Exactly.
and to Stunny's point, crap, I had it in my head
Am I
till
missing
Will just said,
am I missing a comment down there, Sonny? Because it says 10:30 for Sierra's comment. It's 10:39.
Oh,
look here,
the killer is saying, "Hey y'all," and then Smooth said, "Yeah, we discussed that in the previous show," and that's a big thing, though. And then he
Yeah.
said,
yeah,
"I lose interest when someone likes me too much too soon," and that's it. And that's what I mean, because it's a scary
uh-oh.
situation to be in. Oh,
Oh,
did we lose
my
Willie?
point to you, Sonny, was that sometimes when guys have interest in women, they s- most guys see the flaws, they still like you anyway. Like they don't guys don't care, or if it's a flaw that you don't like but they don't care about, they're going to love you anyway. They're going to be all into you.
Hmm.
They see they're not, unless they're just one of those emotional guys that's head over heels when they fought first meet you. They're not going to care about those flaws that you think is a flaw. They think it's a cute quirk.
Well, no, and that's the thing too. I think a lot of guys that fall quickly, they make a lot of sacrifices too. They put things aside because they, once again, you're this perfect thing or this perfect image to them, and they feel like you're never going to be wrong. You're never going to be less than. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm gonna be wrong.
Not
I'm
not
gonna
to
be
say
less
not to say
than.
that they can't overlook your flaws, but 9 times out of 10, or maybe at least 7 times out of 10, they're overlooking them because they have this otherworldly image of you. So
Now I had a
And this is
question.
crazy because I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
I had a question for Willie. When you dated your ex-wife, was part of it you didn't put her on a pedestal like that, right? But was it part of that you got somebody that was unattainable to everybody else and you got her? Was that part of it too? Or I'm just
no,
no. Okay.
I mean that was just a bonus. That was just a bonus.
Oh, okay. You just made everybody else jealous. That was just a bonus of okay.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
no, I didn't look at her as a trophy wife. I didn't look at her as a
No,
trophy. What it was is I literally looked at her as being better than me in terms of I felt like she was just a better person than I was, and that I had to like so in regards to our status, I felt like I needed to live up to a higher standard for her. There was an image of myself that I had, this perfect image of what I could be. And I felt like I had to keep reaching to attain that image in order to please her, not realizing that that's not what she really wanted. But also having her up on that pedestal, it gave me this false sense of perfection for her that she didn't probably want, you know what I mean? Or that she probably didn't feel that she was even at. And like you said, or like Sonny said, is that you get, you know, disappointed later on when they don't live up to that. You know what I'm saying? When there's flaws, and I was the 7 out of 10 I was talking about. I was one of those people that it was like I had this uh uh viewpoint that some of her flaws were not really bad, that they just were things that just had to deal with, or I just overlooked them and just put them in the back of my mind and forgot about them, not realizing
then it came back and bothered you.
yeah, exactly. They definitely came back and
And
bothered
that's
me
the
later.
thing too. I told this guy that was trying to date me. He had this idea. I don't want to say he had this idea of, I don't know what he had, but I knew one of the things that he wanted most in the world, right, was to continue a family. And I felt like if he, even though he wants to continue to pursue me, it was like it's a dub, because you're gonna resent me because I already got two I don't want anymore.
Right.
I'm at 39 done. I'm sorry. I'm not pushing no more babies out at 40 unless it's the second coming of Jesus. It's not coming from me. So, and like he was like, we had a very direct conversation about that, and he still wanted to pursue me, and it's like no, because this is what's going to happen. And I feel like that's one of the things when you like somebody so much and have this ideal of whose person was, or you really like them a whole lot, you in a sense it was the guy girl role reverse. He could change my thought process, and it was like it was never going to change. So you were going to resent me down the line because it was going to be a thing that you didn't want.
Yeah, I want to put this back up
That you
here.
really wanted.
Smooth said, when someone likes you too much too soon, 9 times out of 10, they're looking for you to fill a void within themselves. Is actually selfish. He also says, all that being said, sometimes people see things in us that we don't. Oftentimes we have to look in the mirror. We often accept our flaws instead of improving them. We get comfortable in our mediocrity. Bro, that's
right.
a big one there too.
And,
That is a
and,
big one.
and a lot of women date the perspective or the what the guy could be.
Oh,
And
right,
so
right, right.
I think you put yourself in that same predicament
The
because you put
potential.
it
You talking
Oh,
about
I've
the
done
potential.
that
the
a million
potential.
Yeah,
times.
You saw
dating
the
potential
potential in
is
you.
dangerous.
I date potential seriously. That's my problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah. I
well,
want
Man,
to
it's
get
I
a
think
hype
pro-
in.
Willie.
I want to
it's a
get hype
hot
in real quick.
prospect.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I want to get hype in real quick. What up, though, hype?
My bad, y'all. We
crypto.
got a lot going on over here tonight. As soon as I got on, the little girl come upstairs talking about I want milk, daddy. So I missed the beginning of the conversation. So
Yeah. Well,
brush
actually,
me up a
we're
little
gonna
bit.
jump to the next topic. We'll have to catch your viewpoint later, Hype, on this first
Copy that.
one. But we talked about a bunch of different things. I think we definitely not only hit the nail with the hammer, we pushed it through the floor. So,
All
um,
right.
what I want to talk about next is what happens when a man is ready to end a relationship. I know this was most of the ladies in the comment section is in here for. So I want to jump on that. Hank, you haven't been in relationships before. You only had this one, so. But no. Go ahead, Hank. Tell us what's something that's caused you to want to end a relationship. You've gotten past the dating phase. You're like, you're actually in this thing where you're like, you know what, I'm locked in with this person, or at least partially locked in, and then you're like, wait a minute, I made a mistake.
I mean, what that would be is just the evolution of a person. Uh,
Mhm.
if you've been dealing with somebody for long enough, you meet them at 24, let's say, and Sunny, for argument's sake, or all right, Brittany, for argument's sake, at 24 was great for you. She was exactly what you needed. She dotted your I's and crossed your T's. At 29, she's looking at the world totally different, and she's not what you need. And the problem in them situations it'd be hard to recognize that, like, we just grew apart. We don't
Mhm.
have to have a cuss each other out. We don't have to have any ill feelings or bad. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be none of that. It
Right.
could just be, look, this ran its course. I did that episode before where it was, do all relationships have an expiration date? And I
Mm.
believe that they do,
What
because
where'd you find that?
we
Where'd
don't.
you find that at?
You will find that on all streaming platforms if you search "How to Hustle Podcast with Hype," or if you just Google Hype, HYMPE. It's Hype. It's not hype. I'm not geeked up. You will be able to find that episode on all streaming platforms, and we only accept 5 stars, not four. Um,
Alley
but
oop.
yeah, yeah, appreciate it. Slam dunk. The draft is this week. That's why I threw that thing in about on prospects. I was on it. Yeah, like it'd be hard for you
Dan
to
agrees with you.
recognize. It'd be hard for you to recognize that though inside the relationship. It really be like that. You look back on it, and like that's why people always say it's always a time and a place. You might meet the perfect girl for you at 37, but you already married, and the girl that you're with could be becoming the person that you need at 37, because she, again, 24, we could have been perfect.
Mm.
37 is different, 47 is different, 67 is different. Like, you got to be growing and evolving with each other, and if that is not what's going on, then for a woman, she'll mentally check out of the relationship and still be with you. For a dude, he'll just like not know how to have that grown up conversation if you ain't of a certain age and stage, and he'll just start doing shit to get himself distance from you.
Right, for sure. Not Dame. Smooth said that some people date below their standards because they are scared to step up to the plate. So he was still talking about why they lose interest, but also in terms of this could also filter into relationships, because once you get to a certain point in a relationship, you may realize, oh man, you know what? I've been with this person because I didn't want to grow, or I didn't see myself at a better place than where than where I put myself, and now I'm dating somebody who's not meeting all my needs,
Hey,
and I just
bro,
accepted that because I didn't think I deserved better.
but
um
you know what else that be? And this is something we never talk about, which I think I might do an episode about this. The male biological clock. Dudes be having the biological clock ticking just like the women do. And the dude will start thinking like, damn, Willie got married 2 years ago. Dame just got engaged. What am I doing? Who do I need to? I'm about to just force it with Sonny. We've been talking for shit 15 months.
You
Like,
better preach that. You better preach
it
that. I swear,
it
I said
only been
that
a
the other day. I said I think a lot of people settling down because they just tired of big. They just see everybody else doing it, and it's like, let me do it because I'm over here just I ain't doing nothing.
right,
I was
right.
having this
Now this
conversation with
hurt
my
for 2
brother.
years, so I might as well.
I might as well, just because
I
everybody
might as
else
well.
doing it. Yeah, like we all in our mid 30s, 40s. So like, damn, everybody else is getting married. When everybody else is having something, I can't never go because I ain't got no locked in chick. Or niggas is always laughing about, who's this chick you got in the picture? Like, this is my wife's birthday. You can't just bring anybody. Like, you know
Right,
what
right.
I'm
I
saying?
Yeah.
it's a
Go ahead,
it's
Dan.
another one. It's the one that people really don't talk about. Is them being selfish. Just
Hmm.
because you see a great woman and you want to keep her locked down for yourself because you don't want nobody else to have her,
Yeah, that
and
happens a
you
lot.
want
And,
And no, she's
And she's
beautiful, she's
great, but
smart, she's
she's not even
intelligent,
great for you.
but that's
Like,
yeah, she's not for you, but you just want her because she's a great person.
Right, right, exactly, exactly. Brittany said that in general, she's really nervous to like someone too much. It leaves her feeling really vulnerable, and especially if you're not even at that place where you want to be vulnerable with that person, and then but you're jumping the gun on liking them. That's gonna, or showing them that you like them so much that becomes problematic. But I think also it's like, if you feel like you're uncomfortable with being vulnerable to that person, then you definitely don't like them as much as you think you do. You know what I mean? Because a person should make you feel safe. A person should make you feel like you have or they have a stake in your feelings and your emotions, and in your well-being, so that you can feel vulnerable to them. Once you get to that point, then then it may be okay to let those feelings flourish. But at the point of, you're still not comfortable with showing them certain things. Where's Sierra's comment? Yeah, right here. A person could possibly been wearing a mask, and my sister talks about that a lot too, about people who are showing you their mask. They're hiding behind this mask, and you're dating that mask. And then by the time you realize that they've been doing that, they take the mask off, and like, ta-da, like, surprise, gotcha, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have no choice but to be like, okay, wait a minute, do I stay with this person and figure this new person out, or do I just drop this because and that's my thing, is that I've been in relationships and situations where a person has been wearing a mask for way too long, and then once they reveal themselves, then I lose that trust, because I'm like, there was no reason for you to be hiding yourself from me. Give me everything so I can have an option and a choice in the matter, when it's all said and done. But also, you know if I
don't
do like
hoodwink
you,
me.
if I do like, say it again.
Don't hoodwink me.
Yeah, don't hoodwink me, don't bamboozle me. And if I do
Yeah.
like you enough, I may be able to accept what's behind that mask. I may be able to understand where you're coming from and your true authentic self. I don't want to be around people, friends or dating. I've told people who I've associated with, like, look, there's no reason to lie to me. There's no reason to hide things from me. I'm one of the most non-judgmental people you ever meet. I'm very tolerant about things. I have a good level of
Not
empathy
me.
for people and for their situation. But my thing is I lose a lot of empathy and I lose a lot of patience with people who choose to basically hoodwink me or
So look,
catfish me into the situation.
hey Willie. So this touch on what Smooth just was saying about setting the standards. The
Yeah, let me
problem
read
is
let me
we
read it real quick.
go ahead.
All right, so he says, I've ended the relationship because the lady had a general idea of what a man was and not realize the man I was. A lot of women need to understand men are just as diverse as women. And he says, in that he started that with when a woman takes them for granted.
So when he's saying about setting the standards, and like you saying, you got your what do you call it? Your representative.
Yes,
When
thank
we've
you.
all
Dating the
for
representative. Yeah, thank you.
when we all get together in the beginning, that's what I always say. I don't know how people get married after like 3 months, 6 months, and all of that. Because we both lying. At this point, we're still lying.
Hmm.
She don't look like that. She's not even that complexion. She has on makeup every time you've seen her. All right. Like, he don't smell like that on Tuesdays. He smells like that because he's with you.
Hmm.
Like, we both still in the lion stage. And like you saying, now we might get too far down the line, and now you show me that this is not the real you. I set a standard. You was meeting that standard because this is what you were portraying to be. Now that I'm like locked in and kind of we start getting too intertwined with things, and now it's like, well, you're not even the chick that you was saying you are, or you're not even the guy that you was the girl thought she was getting.
Right.
That be the problem with the standards. Yeah, you could set a standard and somebody could come right in, and especially this be the dumbest shit in the world. When you have a side chick and you then turn her into the main girl, you gave her the answers to the tests. You told
Mhm.
her all the stuff that your girl wasn't doing and all the stuff that you liked and needed and wanted. And then she did all that. And then you went, oh my God, she is great. She's the best girl of
Better
all
preach.
time.
You better preach.
Dummy, you gave her the answers to the test. So then all that other shit that you didn't need and wasn't worrying about, once you get with her, guess what? She never was doing none of that shit.
Mhm.
She ain't even,
Right.
she
Right.
ain't
Like,
even cooking. She ain't had no
Yeah.
cooking. Y'all were ordered out this whole time. If
because
girl know how to cook, you over
she
there
end up
let like
pregnant now. She end up pregnant, and now it's not just fun every time you see her. Now it's real.
It's not as fun.
Now
Damn.
it's not. It was all fun when she was just your side chick because it was all you meet up to bust down.
Right.
Now it's like you need money. What? I ain't never gave you no money. What you talking about?
Right.
You need me
Right.
to come over and get the baby. Like
I have a
it becomes a
question.
totally different situation.
Right. Let me read this comment real quick and then I'm going to go to Sonny's question. Dewan Walker says people are always trying to take advantage. I believe he was talking about, may have been talking about what I was talking about earlier, but Smooth also had mentioned that he doesn't like when a woman tries to take him for granted. And then Smooth also said, learn to love me and not how you think I should be loved. That's a big one. That's a big one. Go ahead, Sonny. What's your question?
So
Everybody
I
different,
know
man. You can't come with that same playbook for everybody.
I
Yeah.
know a lot of guys that do this. I got a lot of male friends and people I've dated that they have dated people, right? For a
Mhm.
period of time. It wasn't working out. Rather than them be the bad guy, they sit in it. It's a complicated situation forever because they don't want to be the one to break it off. They want her to. What's up
So,
with that?
so
Niggas don't know how to have uncomfortable conversations. Be the problem. They don't be built and equipped with a way to just tell you, like, look, I don't want to do this. This is why I wasn't in relationships. Because I'm telling you, the first conversation. Look, this is what it is. I don't want to get you 8 months down the line and you go, oh my god, how could you do this to me? I can't believe it. Like that's
right.
the shit that never makes sense to me. It was dudes telling a chick, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do, but you better not be talking to nobody. I remember my
Hmm.
man told me, yo, I had two chicks in the telly about to have a threesome last night, but I was too on, I couldn't make it happen. So the nigga text my girl, hey, how you doing, or something like that, but she was the whore. How does that equate?
Yeah.
Right, right, and I think that's the thing. You like what you just said, Hype, is that having uncomfortable conversations is something that and this is not exclusive to men. This is a man and a woman problem. But I do just from my experience. Again, this is just my local experience, is I do see it more often than not in men, especially when they, to Dame's point, have a woman that's this perfect example of a woman to them, but they just know it's not working. They know it's not working. They know there are just things that they don't like about the situation. They know they don't really want to be in it, but then they're like, I just don't really want to talk about it, or I don't really want to figure out how to tell her that, and
That
and
part
and
smooth.
and,
Oh, I
and, I,
know
and I,
that, but
I think a lot of
Get
it
on
is just
camera.
it's just it's just
Like I said, that's a lot going on tonight.
how
Good
you
night, love.
doing?
And
So
she has on her custom hustle, you know what I'm saying, jersey and all of that.
oh, for sure, for sure.
Go ahead. Good night.
Smooth said because some men are scared to be alone too, and I don't even think it's just that. I think sometimes some men don't want to have the
Oh yeah, you
uncomfortable
got them niggas
conversation and
smooth.
have the drama of getting chastised, because a lot of times what's going to happen is that woman is going to say, "Hey, what's wrong with me, or what's wrong with this situation, why is this a problem, what's wrong with you?" She's going to reveal some things to him. She's going to tell him about herself. A lot of times guys are seeing all these different things into the future of telling her, hey, this isn't working, you know what I'm saying? Or they just know they're wrong because they're telling her it isn't working because they want to go off and do something with the side chick, or they want to,
They want to go do
or
some
they
nut
know they
shit.
got a baby with this woman, and all they were really there for initially was just for the sex, or just for her body, or just for whatever. And then now they're like, I need an out, and but they just sit and wallow in it,
They find like
until
a little reason for her to get mad so she could be like, I'm done with you. It's like, well, I tried. No,
right, 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 right. So but also I think that sometimes it could be the attempt to be like, you know what, I'm gonna try to have my cake and eat it too, kind of situation, right? Where he may
I'm
be
like,
like, you know
y'all doing
what,
it. You know this.
if I keep her satisfied to a point, but keep her at bay and at a distance, I can go do my own thing too, which is bad for both of them. So I think it's a complicated thing, but it's a simple problem.
But I
It's a
think,
very simple
and I
problem.
also think, like, I've seen some of these men get tremendously hurt by this person that they know they should have been let go of, right? So she does something like, if he is the person that finally ends it, right?
Hmm.
He has done something to now I hate all women ain't shit, and they get to that, like get to the bitter man thing, like you know how you say women are bitter, all men ain't shit. Then
Mhm.
we then like they broke it off with with Keisha because she was on some fuck shit, and she done hurt him to the umpteenth power. He been crying his eyes out, whatever. Now he meet this new girl, and now she got to pay for everything that Keisha did because he held on just a little too longer than what he should have, and she did something like some old dumb shit, like just the most randomest shit that you could think of that could hurt a dude, like his pride, and it's all out there for everybody to see. And now he hurt, so he had to let her go because he's a man. And then
Yeah,
now everybody pays for what Keisha did.
exactly. And smooth. This is the point I was alluding to earlier when I said this is both a man and a woman issue. He said you answered the question in your question. Some men are just scared to be the bad guy. Plus, we are flawed just as much as women. Some women know the relationship is over months before they go. Same shit, and that's the thing.
Absolutely.
There's
Yeah,
a
women will be
that's
checked
a
out months
constant
before they
issue.
go.
Yeah, there's a
But that,
constant
and
issue
you
where
know why we
people.
do that? Just from a woman's point, and I can't speak for every female, but I'm gonna say this. Sometimes it's not like it's the so once we realize, so 'cause it's a number of things, like he could have cheated, he could have done some stuff that just didn't make no sense, it could have been a money thing or whatever, blah blah blah, whatever. Most likely it's cheating, right? So
Black men
it's
don't
the
cheat.
fear of, and I'm gonna say this, and some people might feel the way that I'm about to say this. It's the fear of you moving on because men move on quicker than most females. Some females move on quickly, but some guys just like, all right, we done. I'm over here with Keisha, and I'm over here
Got
with
one in
Nate
the
Nate.
game, and you got one on
Now
the
me
bench.
and Keisha in a whole relationship, and it works out, and somehow
You need
Keisha
eight on
got
the bench to have a stellar
Keisha got to
roster.
been the man that we've been looking for this whole relationship, right?
Mhm.
So it's that fear of that, especially if you know it's another female. You're not going to let go of him because you're quote unquote giving her easy, like you giving it to a pass off an easy pass, like go ahead, like I'm done with him, and she's gonna slide back in, and that's gonna be Superwoman to him, whatever. So that's that thing for
Mhm.
a lot of females, and sometimes it's not even that. It's just that we've had this person for however long we had them for, and it's like I got to start all over again. And I know from
Yeah,
my
that
personal
fear of starting over.
that
Yeah.
that was me. I was in a relationship with a guy for a period of time. We were
Shit,
engaged,
that's
and it was
everybody.
like then we weren't together anymore. And it was like, well, what the fuck do I do? Because this is who I've been with for like this long extended amount of time, and like now I got to recycle some holes. I got to find people, like not really. You got to find people, but like you in that transition stage where you just like I don't know what the hell to do, and you don't want to go look for somebody else, so you stay longer, hoping that somehow he'll see he hurt you and fix it. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just not gonna happen that way. Sometimes.
Yeah, Smooth said no matter the reason or the gender, it is still a bad trait, and it is. I think a lot of times we feel like we have to hold on to what we have until we can get something else, or we feel like we don't want to be alone, and that's men and women. And like somebody just mentioned, it's that fear of starting over. Or having to get back out in this dating pool, which is full of piss. So,
Especially in
I ain't even, I, I
2022.
ain't even got no swimming trunks, boy.
seriously. Go ahead, Dane.
Um, from all the answers we just got from why isn't he just into you on both sides, I want to keep it real. It is you. That whole response is not you, it's me. No, it's you.
It's
Because
definitely you.
we no
Yeah,
no
that's
because
always
we
you.
no no because it's not nothing personal. It's just that no against them. It's just that something about them doesn't click with you. It's not nothing bad. It's just y'all don't mesh together. So let's just be real. It's you.
Hmm. I know what you mean.
This was shit. I forgot it now. I had a great point I was about to make. Fuck, I forgot.
Yes.
No, no worries, no worries. Don't worry. I got a quick slideshow I want to go through. This goes back to Sierra's earlier comment about the reason,
Shout
people
out to
mess
Sierra.
up.
My wife name is Sierra, and you keep saying that, and it just keeps making me
Right,
think.
right, right. So Sierra said interest is lost because two people didn't discuss the necessary before they started off. So, and it's not only about two people discussing the necessary that's for starting off a relationship, but also you asking yourself some questions to see if you're even ready to start a relationship. And I know we've talked about this in the past, but I want to kind of bring up some things because I found this slideshow. I found this work mode. Y'all gotta excuse me. I found this Instagram slide of different questions to ask yourself when you are getting ready for a relationship. One of the biggest things, and we always talk about this on all of our shows, is am I emotionally available for a relationship? I think a lot of people fail to ask themselves that simple question because of the fact that sometimes they don't even know what emotional availability is, but also realizing that they do need to be emotionally checked in for a person in order to do what's right in that situation. Smooth said it is personal. It may not be malicious, but it's definitely personal for sure. For sure. Am I aware of my triggers, how they show up in my relationships? Do I really like this person? Am I familiar or comfortable with this person? Because there is a difference. And this is going back to what I said about
About what
Brittany's, yeah,
Brittany's
Brittany's
comment.
comment, and the fact that you have to be vulnerable in order to really like somebody. You can't be saying I like this person and I really want to get in a relationship with this person, but you can't even be vulnerable with them. That means that there's still something missing, or there's some time that needs to be had with that person. So I think that's important as well.
That goes with
Can I
number
say
one.
something about number 3?
Yes, ma'am.
So when I have friends that are dating people and they're both cheating, like you're cheating on that person and that person's cheating on you,
Mhm.
I ask, do you really like that person? Because why are y'all together?
Right, right.
Because
True
we
that.
need somebody to go to the
Like y'all
party with.
both cheating on each other, y'all both getting caught, confronting each other, still haven't left each other alone, and still continue to cheat. Like, what do y'all like each other? Like, that's like that's
We
a
like being
No,
able to say that we with somebody.
Yeah.
Now I know
no.
what it was. Now I know what it was that I had.
Oh,
And it kind of ties
everybody be
into this
quiet.
whole thing.
Everybody be quiet.
Um, the top joint right there, though, you got to make that evaluation of self always important. But complicated relationships is what somebody was talking about. I think it was Sunny.
Mhm.
If the relationship is complicated, wouldn't the first thing you want to do is uncomplicate whatever it is that you have? If you go to work and they tell you, well, how much I'm gonna make? It's complicated. Well, uncomplicate it for me. Explain it to me.
Mhm.
Let's break this down. Let's sit down and talk about this before I accept this job. When you have to say that this shit is complicated, we need to fix that. We need to talk about that. We need to define that. We need to work that out. It's complicated. Can't be what your relationship status is, because like that just means we got chaos, and living in chaos creates little damaged babies.
Yeah,
Like
true that.
when you're saying,
No,
am I emotionally available to be in a relationship? If you just broke up with this girl after 6 years, like Sonny said this too, like, what do I even doing? Where do I even live? Like we had a house together, we had accounts together. I don't know where I live. I don't know who's getting the bed, like where are the kids, like everything is chaos. You don't need to be worrying about getting in a relationship with no girl just to say you got one. You're not ready for all of that. You got to figure out you again. You got to figure out what's it is that you at divorced looks like or breakup look like. Like you got to make all of them assessments of yourself before you even try to talk to somebody. Like if I'm talking to somebody, that's what Backpage and all of that type stuff is for. Just to
no,
get one out.
but
He said back
you know,
page.
items number. I,
I'm out of the game. I said I don't have swimming trunks. Dive back into the pool. Okay.
all he knows is
items.
Backpage. He don't know he don't know the dating apps.
Right, right. He don't know
I
about
know the
Tinder and
saying. Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Items two, number one and number four on that list go hand in hand with each other. You can't have you're not comfortable with somebody. That means you're not emotionally available for them.
Mhm.
And you
Go
don't like
ahead.
the ass.
Mm.
Sierra said.
That's a good
Sierra
one,
said no. The
Sierra
question
too.
is. Sierra says the question is. No. The question is, do you like yourself or do you love yourself? Smooth said number two. I want to talk about triggers. Your triggers are not my problem. You need to work those out before you start dating. It means you are not really healed.
But see,
Yeah.
that's a trick one too, because sometimes you don't know your triggers
Hmm.
until it actually happens. So
Right.
you
Right.
cannot understand. I mean, some triggers you know, but it's some that you won't know until it actually and you're in that setting. Like it could be something minute as, and I had the conversation with somebody too, like something like a type of argument you used to having, right? And if somebody
Right.
does something and you and your spouse are having, or your person you're dating are having a conversation, and it gets heated, something they say may trigger a response out of you that you involuntarily, and you not know it. Yes, once you identify it, pin it, and figure it out. But you can't know all your triggers. You won't know all of them.
Well, yeah. And I was talking about that earlier,
But you
how,
definitely need to work through them and heal the ones you do know.
yeah, there's experience, right? There's things that you're going to experience over time, and once you experience them, then you can be aware of it. But if you haven't experienced it, yeah, you're going to be clueless to it. And let me clarify, Smooth. We're talking about questions you ask yourself, not what you're talking to your potential relationship about. You're talking to you're basically asking these questions of yourself, so you can make sure you're even ready to date or ready to be in the right relationship that's right for you. So a lot of these questions are questions to yourself to be like, you know what, am I ready to be in this potential relationship that I'm exploring, or even to start dating in general? Because I think a lot of people fail to understand these things before they jump in the dating pool or before they jump into the next relationship.
You know what's another trigger is that you don't know about is the unknown kids. What if you have a kid with that person? Your two different backgrounds, y'all come up a certain different way. You might want things a certain way. Your other person might want things another way, and they go to mesh.
That's
That's
why
when
you can't have kids with just anybody. Like
everybody you
Yeah,
can.
yeah,
me and my
exactly.
wife
But
had these conversations before we had kids, before she got pregnant. Like any of the times, like we had already talked about. We got two different religions. How do we feel about what you think about this? What you think about that? You got to talk all of that stuff out if you're gonna be in these serious relationships and having these serious dynamics. Because when a baby comes, it grenades. They blow up everything that was in the vicinity. Nothing is the same. You ain't the same. She ain't the same. I just was talking to one of the guys from Sports for You. Shout out to Sports for You. I did the episode with them a couple of weeks ago. He just had a baby, and told him it was his first one. Like everything comes different. Everything changes. Like it's nothing that you can always say. I would have did this and I would have did that until you're
It's
in that
different
spot.
parenting styles. Your parenting
Yeah,
style may be different than what my parenting and what my ideal of what my parenting style looks like. So those are things that you need to. And it's crazy because you don't communicate that to, like, when you're first dating somebody. At some point down the line, if you're seriously dating, you should definitely do that. I know I had that conversation to the guy that I was engaged to. He was Muslim, so he had things that how he was raised and how he expected certain things to be. Um, with my son dad, we didn't have that conversation, but he understood certain things to me mattered. So even though it's not something he would do, he understands that I do it, and it's not a conflict of I don't want you to do this.
Right.
they're gonna compromise.
But
but it's
it was a
also about the way
compromise.
we're doing it, not the way I did it and the way she did it. Like
Yeah,
it got to
it
be
was
us
something
having a
new.
conversation, a real conversation, and saying like, "This is what I've been doing. This I can't been doing." Like,
Yeah,
Right.
and
Right.
like it's something as simple as holidays, but some people get really heated about that and feel a way about that. So you definitely should be having those types of conversations.
Yeah.
Yep, I have a
Um,
problem with number 5 already.
do I have to perform or alter myself to be loved by them? That's a big one. That's that representative we were just talking about. And thanks again, Heim, for correcting me on what that was. But yeah, when that person, when you are that person that's only presenting your representative in a relationship, that's problematic. And when you're trying to be loved, but you feel like you have to be a different person to get that love from someone, that's problematic. You can't be yourself. You can't be your unapologetic self. You need to reevaluate why you're doing this. You need to reevaluate if this person is really right for you. Because if they don't accept you for you, you're going to let that slip eventually, or you're going to reveal yourself eventually. And now, do they want you at that point? Or do you want them? That's another question. But you need to realize that that's not the way to go. Do
I'm
our
trying
core
to hash
values
a
and
topic
beliefs,
out with that.
back to Heinz's comment? Do our core values and beliefs align? Am I attracted to their heart, values, and character? That goes along with that as well. Am I willing to honor our differences? And am I willing to accept their flaws? That's another big one. And that those two, I feel like, go together because of the fact that we will overlook people's flaws, instead of addressing them, or instead of deciding if compromising to that flaw is what's right for us. That can become problematic in a relationship. And do I
Number
like who
10 is
I
how.
Oh, go ahead.
That's how shit gets. Number 10 is how shit gets toxic.
Yeah, do I like who I am? Goes back to, am I archery or performing? But do I
Mhm.
like who I am when I'm with this person? You know what I'm saying? So I think
It's
that a lot of times people overlook the type of person they are. I mean, let's go and let's say, for hypothetical, the woman that Dame was talking about earlier, that was married to the guy and was wanted to be at all his basketball games and wanted to go to all the activities with him. Maybe she really wasn't that kind of girl. Maybe she was like, you know what, I just want to be supportive of him, and I think he needs this kind of support. But now she's pushed him away. And did she even really like herself having to do that? Maybe not, who knows? But it's quite possible that she may not have, or that she may have been playing up to the expectation that she thought that he needed. To Smooth's point about wanting to love him the way she thought he needed to be loved versus the way he wanted to be loved.
Instead of
it's a
Smooth
just
said,
question.
listening to what the person is
It's
telling you.
yeah.
it's a question that is not on there. Is something I just
Well,
thought
we got
about.
we got three more slides. It might be on there, but go ahead. Tell us anyway,
But
Dame.
do I actually like or love this person, or do I like that they love me?
Oh, good one. Good
Talk that
one.
shit, Dave.
Yeah,
Right. James showed up tonight. He like, listen, I'm here.
Dame
Let's start playing with
showed
this.
up tonight. Dame was like, "Look, I'm ready for these fools tonight." But
James
yeah,
like,
No,
I
it
got my
is.
notes down.
definitely.
It's
Last week we skipped it and moved it to this week, and I was here for it.
No, but this is the
he
thing. This
got
is
it.
the
No, he
thing.
got his wedding ring on tonight. He
I've
feeling good about
personally,
himself.
I
Always keep this on, dude. Always keep it.
Hank
He
over here
philosopher.
noticing stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
But
I
you
ain't
know
got
what?
mine on tonight.
I've been in that situation, and unfortunately, I was the one that was in love with the love. I was the one that wanted to be loved so bad that I was just going to accept so many things because that person was showing me affection. And I had to learn early on. This is like in my 20s, and I was just like, oh man, I think this is a wonderful woman. I think she's got a lot going on for her, and man, she's showing me interest. Like then I'm just in love with that feeling. But then I was overlooking the fact that she was crazy and delusional, and you know what I mean. There was a lot that was involved in that, and I was overlooking a lot of that because and letting her get away with stuff because I just was like, you know what? At the end of the day, she's showing me affection, and that's all that matters. And no, that's not all that matters. I'm sorry, that's not enough. That is not enough. Smooth said,
Some
triggers, in my
people like
opinion, are
being
things that
liked.
cause you to feel uncomfortable because of previous experiences. If something makes you uncomfortable in the present moment, then that isn't a trigger. It's just something new. Okay.
But it could be
So,
something that's uncomfortable in the present that reminds you of the previous experience. So that's why I say, like, even if it's not, so I want you to understand this move. Even if it's not something that I identify, like, because I know what most of my triggers
okay.
are, right?
Wait. I think you're about to say the same thing, but he spoke to that earlier. He says if you don't know the trigger, because what you're saying is you didn't know because it was in the past, but it wasn't a trigger. It was new. The problem is if you don't know that it's a trigger, it means you never dealt with the issue.
True.
So he spoke to that earlier. So new triggers when you don't see like, oh my God, this is problematic. This is brand new to me, but this is problematic. It's not a trigger, it's something new. But now you aren't even going to deal with it. It becomes a trigger in the future because you just don't want to deal with
That makes sense.
it. Yep. Smooth said just something new that I don't like and it happens again in the future, then it becomes a trigger. Got you. Okay. Smooth agreed. Great one, Dame. And I don't know what Dame just said, but anyway, so
Unmute yourself, Dame.
I
He had
quoted
to,
myself.
he had
That's
to
all.
let self
yeah,
go with that own comment. That's what he did.
right.
He started
So
out great, and then he came up with that bullshit.
um so this is the slide that starts going into the questions you're asking yourself about a new person. Do I want to be like this person? Do they challenge me to grow? Does this person respect me?
That's a big
Do
one.
they respect my boundaries?
Big
Are
one.
they an active listener? Do they know how to emotionally regulate during conflict? That number 16 is huge
Yeah.
because, and I see
Fact.
that a lot in younger couples, but we see it in older ones too, where one of them is unable to have civil conversations, be able to listen without arguing, without creating everything, without causing the arguments. without wanting to be agreeable, to just talk things out, that kind of thing. And part of
Some
that too is
people
being
just don't know how to
emotional.
have a conversation. Is
Exactly.
that problem?
Yeah.
Like, if a conversation is you're making a point and I'm listening to respond to what you're saying, not I'm just waiting to get this one joint off that I wanted to say that has shit to do with what we talking about. Like,
Mhm.
some
Right.
people come in and say, like, I'm saying these three things, regardless of what we talking about. These three things, these my bullet points, and I'm hitting them. And it's like, she ain't even talking about that though. So what are you talking about? Or he ain't even talking about that. That's the shit right there. Like, you gotta be smart enough to
First of
Right.
all,
know.
Smooth, I'm
Like,
sick of you.
Yeah.
But
Smooth said, "Do
you
I
use
want to be
time.
like this person?" Question mark. Someone explained that in simple Negro terms to me because I don't understand that at all. Actually, Smooth, you talked about this already. This was something you said earlier. Let me go back to it. It was basically the fact that I'm sorry, where is it at? Sorry, give me 1 second. I can tell you because you literally said it earlier, right
while
here.
Willie is looking that
So
up,
you
you make sure
said
you go to
so
Custom
earlier.
Hustle World on Instagram and make your purchase.
I'm sorry. So earlier, Smooth said when someone likes you too much too soon, 9 times out of 10, they are looking for you to fill a void within themselves. It's actually selfish. That's what that's talking about. When you're like trying to fill in things that are psychologically, emotionally, fundamentally wrong with yourself, and you're like, oh, this person has just what I need, and then you want to live through them to get your goals succeeded at, or get your things taken care of, or whatever the case may be. That's that same situation. You're filling voids. They just didn't use the term filling voids, so it's the same exact thing. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Nah, I was saying while you was looking that up, you go to Custom Hustle World on
Oh,
Instagram
gotcha.
and you find yourself, you know what I'm saying, a jersey, jacket, t-shirts,
It's
sweatsuits,
one
all
on.
of that
It's
good
another
life.
one that people with certain issues, like actual emotional, being emotionally damaged or emotionally frail, mental.
Yeah, we're about to get on that right now. So they also says, can they handle constructive criticism? What is their relationship like
That's
with
a
their
huge
family and
one.
friends? Would I be okay if they treated me the same way? And then to Dame's point, are they self-aware? Do they have a healthy sense of self, and or do they have a emotional maturity? So yeah, so that's
Most
uh,
people don't.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and
Which
that's
is
the
why
thing.
the
You have to
dating
be able to
pool is fucked
recognize
up.
that. That takes a lot of discernment because you have to be emotionally mature to begin with, right? Going back to number one, you got to be emotionally mature before you can figure out if that person that you want to be with is emotionally mature. You have to be self-aware. You have to accept responsibility. You have to handle constructive criticism.
You gotta
You have
handle
to be able
construct.
to
Ah,
have good
took it out my mouth.
relationships. You have to have good familial and friendly relationships outside of the person, and that's a big one for me. I've run into that one a couple of times, and I definitely that's another turn off for me. That's another thing that makes me lose interest is when I find out that a woman does not have good friendships, that she doesn't know how to hold friends, that she doesn't know how to get along with her family. You don't have to get along with your whole family. That's not what I'm saying. My thing is, if your whole family don't fuck with you, and you don't have friends that fuck with you, you are the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's not them, it's you. It's
Monique.
obviously you. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
not
And I can't
everybody
help you at this
else.
point. So I'm not about to be sticking around to find out why nobody fuck with you. That's problematic to me. So I think that that's a big one that people overlook and ignore. I mean, I literally talked to a guy a couple weeks ago that said that he doesn't mind a woman who doesn't have friends that gives her more time for him. Bro, do you realize that all the messed up
No,
stuff that she's done to her family and friends, she's now about to turn that on you, brother? Like,
facts.
come on. Come on, it's common sense. Smooth said
Hey,
truth.
my man lived in a neighborhood he grew up in and said, I don't really fuck with nobody down here. You don't fuck with nobody down here. Nigga, you been living there for 25 years. At that point, like, that means you're the problem.
Exactly. Apparently nobody, it's just that nobody fucks with you, bro.
Right, ain't nobody that fucks with you. Exactly. Everybody else is not wrong.
Right, right. Yeah, Smooth said 19 is the one. Are they self-aware? Do they have a healthy sense of self or emotional maturity? And that's big, man. I think a lot of people And I think, and let's be honest. Let's be honest. Um, in this social media age, we've been talking about this kind of stuff more often. We've been able to, as a collective, think through these kind of things. And I mean, let's be honest. We never even heard of emotional maturity 5 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago, talking about being self-aware, or demanding that the people that we're in relationships have those kind of qualities. But the thing is that that stuff has been talked about enough. People need to be able to start evaluating themselves and say, you know what? Am I lacking something? Am I doing something wrong? Or am I not taking personal responsibility to elevate myself to a point where I can be emotionally mature, where I can be emotionally available to somebody else? Am I hiding behind walls? Am I putting up barriers? Am I causing people not to fuck with me and all that kind of stuff? I think that's the thing, is that if somebody isn't doing that, they're immature. Just point
But
blank.
that's the part of I feel like this, and I feel like this. I what if I look back at a lot of situations and a lot of friendships that ended, or people that I know that ended friendships, is lack of accountability, or lack of me being able to say, "Hey, Willie, you're my friend. I feel like you fucking up."
Mm-hmm.
It's not everybody
That's the
else. It's you.
constructive criticism one.
It's you. And like a lot of, and that's why I said this before. I think we talked about this on the podcast, and I know I talked about it with my friends. I don't want yes friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
exactly.
want friends to hold me accountable for my actions. When I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. When I'm doing stupid shit and I'm not being progressive, I need you to be able to tell me that the same way I should be able to tell you that. I think we grown up in a world where a lot of people are gotten so used to not really going against your friends because it's problematic. No, as your friend, we're gonna argue. I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. Have stuff I say, some of the stuff that I say you might not like, and I need you to be able to tell me that. The same way I should be able to tell you if you say something to me that bothers me, I should be able to tell you. And I should
But
check you when you're wrong. Like I just watched a little uh clip on TikTok, and Amanda Seales and them were talking about guys, when you see your friends, like if like Dame or Willie, you see Dame, he's married, him and Jazz got a great relationship. You friends with both of them. He's been cheating on Jazz for the beginning, for the entirety of the marriage. Not saying that that's what's happening, but I'm just saying in this scenario, you as his friend, because you're friends with both of them, you're not going to check him and say,
Mm-hmm.
"Yo, you got a good woman, you over here doing blah." Like we need our friends to hold us accountable for our actions, because and have those uncomfortable conversations, like you shouldn't be doing XYZ because this could happen. So many things could happen out of that situation. And
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I have, nothing to do with cheating, but I've taken Dame to the side before and said, Dame, you know what? I recognize these actions or activities, and I need you to change this, because would be best for you, your family, your situation, or your well being, or whatever. I told him about that in his last marriage. We both have talked to each other through relationships, marriages, friendships. We both talked about to each other about friendships, like, bro, you need to stop messing with this guy. He's nothing but bad news. He's gonna get you in trouble one day. And of course, we both didn't listen. But it becomes a question of, like you say, being real with that person, instead of being fake, but also being
but
not being a real friend to them, and letting them know what's beneficial to their life. You know what I'm
but
saying?
but you got different friendships as well.
Your Sonny's sister don't lie. I know, Sonny. Come
I'm
on,
not
bro.
No,
snitching. I'm just asking because I saw it on
no,
the TikTok, and I was wondering, like, do guys
no,
really hold their friends accountable for stuff
Yeah,
like that?
no,
no, I mean it
no,
happens, but
no.
it,
Me
but
and
it, more often than not, a
it's
lot of
almost like it's
people.
almost like how Smooth say he all his friends take care of their kids, and the one that don't, they don't really rock with like that. It's like and like for me as a mom, like if you can't be my friend if you're a deadbeat mom, like listen,
Right, right.
No, but as
we
you
ain't gonna
get
work out.
older, you got friends for different type of reasons. You got friends that you just may do sports with, or you do XYZ events with. You got real friends like me and Will been friends since single digit age for me.
Right.
We go way back, so we can have that type of friendship where we can be honest with each other. Other friends, dude, you out of pocket for trying to talk to me about certain things you don't know about. You don't know the whole deal about XYZ situation. We just go back to doing fun stuff, or we're just hanging out, group
But then
social
also, I think
group
we
get
have to.
together.
But that's when you have to realize who are your real friends and
Yeah,
who are just acquaintances and who's just associates. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And there's these near field folks who you will allow to have these conversations, but then there's these far field folks who you either shouldn't be or you can't because they just don't have the insight. But I think a lot of times is that some people just lump everybody into the same category and be like, oh, it's my friend, this my
Mm,
friend, and I trust all of them. And it's like, no, bro,
mm,
calm
mm,
down. Realize who's really there for you, who's really not, and who you can really have these kind of conversations with. Sorry, I'm missing these comments.
That
Tan said that that's where I am, Dame. She says I agree. Every level isn't the same. Yep. So I think that you know all in all, people are just need to be conscious and cognizant of what's going on with their relationships, with their friendships, as well as knowing that they have to be held accountable either by someone or by themselves. You definitely have to be held yourself accountable, but you can't not allow other people to hold you accountable. I'm sorry, Hank, go ahead. What were you about to say?
the constructive criticism one, that's pretty much what we're talking about. If you're talking about a
Mm-hmm.
real friendship,
Yep.
is it's not even about so much like the years that Dame talking about with Willie. You can't replace those years with any. You can't replace those years. Like it's not you're not able to compete with those years in those different relationships. But when you have those people, it's like the person that has your best interest at heart.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to know somebody that long to know, like, oh no, he ain't that type dude or she ain't that type of girl. Where you can't take everybody's opinion personal. That's
Right.
one of those things that people always has, especially like we doing this. People who gonna give you feedback just because somebody say, "Yo, I don't like how y'all lay this out or how y'all transition from that topic to this topic." Copy. You take in their criticism. You don't take it personal, but you don't have to reevaluate your entire life because somebody makes an evaluation of you. You
Exactly.
just take it in and say like, okay, how can I implement that? Do I need to implement that? Is it something that I need to do? But again, that goes back to the other one where it was your emotional maturity. Are you there? Are you listening? Are you understanding? Are you comprehending? Can you have that conversation? I got plenty of people, like you said, single digit age relationships, knew these dudes 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. I'm not 40 years because I ain't that old, but
Hey,
um
hey, hey.
Go ahead.
but but it's like I know I can't have that conversation with him. Me and
Right.
my brother, me and
Tan
my
said
brother have
correct.
been
He
oil.
agreed.
Me and my brother have been oil and water since 1987, since the day I came out. Me and him can't have a real conversation because it's only going to go to this.
Mm-hmm.
It's only gonna
Mm-hmm.
go to us button heads. So it's like stay completely away from those conversations. We keep things on a surface level of sports, the draft, the game, the kids, those type of things. But I got some friends where it's like I really need to know something, and it's like I know I can go to him. I know I can go to this cousin. I know I can go to this uncle. And you just gotta, like I said, take those things in and not take them personal. As soon as somebody tell you something, you can't just be instantly defensive. Like
True that. True that. Let's get to this final slide. Um, can I trust this person with my heart? This goes back to the vulnerability thing I was talking about earlier. Can we have fun together? Talking about the ability to have similar mindsets and what you're doing, how you're doing things. So not only just having fun, but can you live in the same kind of space as that person? Can you keep up with that person, or can they keep up with you? And then the bonus question: what limiting beliefs are holding me back from authentically connecting? And
number
and
20 is pretty much number one for any man in a serious relationship.
mhm, mhm,
Because it takes so much for us to say I'm gonna trust you with me. Like it takes a lot of training camp, you know what I'm saying? A lot of tour days for you to get there and say like, all right, I think I might be able to trust her.
right.
But
Because once you emotionally open yourself up to her, like that was in the earlier number. Once you emotionally open up to her, and it's like if she don't reciprocate it, if you don't feel like that love is genuine, that love is being matched, and that love is there, it will shatter a man because it
Yeah,
takes
that's
so
true.
much for him to get to that point to be like, I'm going to do this with her.
Right.
but
And that's
Go ahead,
also
Damon.
it also goes with emotional maturity. A lot of guys haven't articulated their emotional maturity or immaturity because they haven't stopped thinking with their, the thing between their legs. They just either here or here. They're not with this yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Smooth
that's
agrees
it.
as well.
That's
And
it.
had agreed
That's
earlier
aging
with your
stage.
point,
Yeah,
Hank. So yeah,
that's aging
definitely.
stage, Dame. Because like I said, once you get to that point, because like at that point where I'm gonna be with you, nobody gets into a marriage and say, all right, so, like 3 years from now we're gonna break up. No, you get into this marriage saying like she gonna have my social security number. Like something happened to me, they calling her. Like I get
Right.
hurt on the job, they calling her. It take a lot for you to get your mom off that emergency contact number. It take a lot for you to put somebody else down there, and then when that shit don't, nigga, I've been married 6 years. It's still weird to me that when they ask for an emergency contact, it's not my mom. Cause I'll instantly just start going 463.
Hey,
Wait, that's mom's phone
it,
number.
it,
It's
it
not.
went it went to number two. It took a while. Like, ooh, wife or mom first?
We're gonna have that conversation on
They,
another
Then
show.
don't do that.
We're
This
gonna
is
have
the
that
same one. Didn't
conversation.
we have comments about the lady who had to ride the back seat? The mom wanted to listen,
Exactly.
shotgun.
hey,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah.
Hey,
We'll have that
Dame.
conversation on another show.
Hey,
We'll have that.
Dame. That's some of the realest shit I ever heard, Dame.
You're right,
Cause it'll
right,
be
right.
like, oh, wait, so
Well,
I'm supposed to put her
Hey,
and not her.
speed. Hey, speed down. Number one is for your voicemail. Who's going to number two?
right, right. All right. So another
Mine's is
great
just
show in the books.
alphabetized to favorite list.
Right. Another great show in the books. Definitely make sure you come back here. We always have great conversations, great
Man, what do you want?
topics, and we definitely have great shows available. So because we bring you all the content here at GFT Radio Network. Mondays at 10 p.m. GFT Radio Show. Tuesdays at 2 p.m. the How to Hustle podcast with Hank.
Just go get it.
Wednesdays. Make sure you guys come back here on Wednesday. I have another great show with Chevy. We're going to be doing episode 2 of
Chevy
Miss
Rotten
Moment.
Hot.
So make sure you guys check us out. Sex with Sunny Live will be back this Friday. She's going to be talking about kissing and telling.
It's a
So make sure
menage
you
a
forward
three
to that
this
sale.
weekend with
So
Sonny.
Yeah, it's a PJ day, Willie. So if you're gonna be on, you gotta be in
Oh,
PJs.
gotta wear PJ. Okay. My PJs are kind of hot.
Sonny's having a menage a three
Hold on,
situation this
I just
week.
got PJs. My birthday day is so comfortable. I'm probably gonna wear those.
Okay, for sure.
Can I wear my
And
gray ones?
Sunday we'll have another episode of the fans' perspective.
Ask Jasmine to wear your gray ones. Just like that.
Same in the great man.
Like, yeah, Jazz, I got you. The fuck?
Shouts out to the
That
gray
was,
joint.
hold on.
Let me-
That was a trigger.
Hold on. Wait. Let me.
All right, that's so that's a trigger.
That was a trigger. I was like, what the fuck you just say? I almost slapped you for her.
Every other Sunday at 9 p.m. we have the fans' perspective. They're bringing you sports analysis, scores, everything you're looking for. Various times throughout the week we have gaming with style, or various times throughout the month. At this point, we have gaming with styles, where I play video games and show you some of the latest games that's out there. And then introducing our newest show. Once a month, we'll have a show called Styles and Dame Presents One Crazy Month. We just did the show last night, had a great time doing it. Tam was in the comments. Who else was in the comments last night? Sonny was in the comments. So we had some great commenters out there, and we definitely had a great time with it. So make sure you guys check us out once a month for One Crazy Month. Smooth says, "Mama, I came out your butt. I came out of you, but I'm eating." He said,
That should be the motto. That should be a slogan.
I'm eating hers right now, so you gotta take a back seat. Facts, big facts, bro. Big facts.
Hold on, I'm still on the first part. Mom, I came out your butt, but I'm eating hers right now. Excuse me? Excuse me? Maybe I should be hitting up Smooth. Smooth, what you doing?
Uh-oh. Oh, he changed it up. He said, he knew Sonny was about to say so. He changed it up right quick. He was like, Mama, I came out of yours, but I'm eating hers right now. So you got to hop in that back. You got a back seat, beloved.
No, he didn't clean up. The first part's still the same. Like, I don't know which, the last part changed, but the first part is...
This is why I'll just take the back seat. Y'all got the front.
That's a good point, Smooth. I like that.
Matter of fact,
Smooth. I'm using that one.
Wifey, you drive. I'm gonna get in the back seat. You and Mom in the front.
I got you.
I
Smooth.
said I'll take
the
the back seat.
version of
Y'all
that,
can
baby.
have it.
I walk.
I done knocked my mouse off the table.
I'm taking a bus. Screw this.
But
Shit, you see how
yeah,
much gas is, nigga.
man,
Now,
he's
shit,
like,
my
Dame
text
said
you in
I'm
the middle
taking
of
the
the night,
bus.
and I'm like, so what you say about eating somebody? What? Just say.
Too
Don't
funny,
mind me.
too
I'm only
funny.
playing. So I'll just
But yeah, make sure you guys
we trying to
follow,
make
like,
Dave mad.
subscribe.
Hold up.
Make sure you guys follow, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so you know when our shows post, when they start playing live, because sometimes you may not be paying attention. You get that notification, that way you know to come join us, have a great time with us. You see, we always here having a great time. Or move on over to the Join the Conversation group over on Facebook.com/group/GFT Join the Conversation, where you can join us for other topics that show up here, as well as a lot of fun and laughter over there on the GFT radio show. Join the Conversation group. All right, Sonny, tell them where they can find you.
Gee, I'm still reeling. I am Sunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. Or you can catch me on my blog, unreservedlyme.com.
All right.
Episode 69 of the How to Hustle podcast with Hype is available right now on all streaming platforms. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. on the GFT Radio Network. Shouts out to my girl Sunny, who's making an appearance on this week's episode. Both sides of the
Oh,
wall, part 3,
episode
relationships.
69, huh? Episode 69 with
And we're
Sunny.
not even doing anything nasty.
I was
What?
disappointed in that. Like, so
Dame is
disappointed.
always jealous. I'm just going to say that.
Wow. Of course I am. I mean, wait, what? You can find me at Another Level Up on Instagram, Shinlo21 on Twitch, and I'm not there anymore. Checkmate21 on TikTok, and Agent Shinlo on the Xbox Network.
Dame's always changing his social handles, and I can't keep up.
No,
Make sure
no,
you
I'm
guys
just not on Twitch no more.
Smooth couldn't join us on the video, but he was all over the chats. Make sure y'all check out Smooth over at Trenton Groomy on Twitter. Visit him over at thekingstruth.com for his blog. He's always posting
Slide in
great.
his DM, ladies. He out here wilding out in the streets. And we're here for it.
Y'all, right, he out here.
He likes the cheeks. He likes the cheeks.
Or you can catch him over at A King's Truth on Snap. And last, but certainly not least, it's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG and Twitter. I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. Find me over at gamingwithstyles.com, playing video games occasionally. Right now, I'm still working on No Man's Sky. Somebody help me. No Man's Sky is kicking my butt. Or visit me over at stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm listening to. Or WillieStyles.info for all my links. Make sure you go check out my new sticker. I just posted on my Facebook and Instagram. I will be
Yeah,
that
releasing
sticker
that
was
as an
hot.
exclusive at San Diego Comic-Con this year. I will be there in July, so make sure y'all come check me out and get a free sticker. Other than that, you'll have to wait until that's over, but I will be having stickers, so make sure you guys check.
Whatever. Now he talking about some stickers. Shut up.
Nah, them stickers
Smooth,
was
stop
hot.
playing in the conversation.
Hey, I'm trying to follow Heim's lead. You know, Heim told us gotta promote, baby.
Hey, listen, if you think when they had Made in America last year, it wasn't stickers all over the subway, you think the Roots
Right.
picnic didn't just get flooded with wristbands for everybody.
Exactly.
This is how you hustle, baby.
Make sure you guys get our merchandise. Make sure you get some of Heim's merchandise over at the Custom Hustle
As
World.
at Custom
You can
Hustle World on Instagram, Custom Hustle Co on Twitter.
And you can get GFT Radio Show merchandise over at gftradio.creator-spring.com, where you can find all our hot apparel, things like drinking glasses and fanny packs and things of that nature. So make sure you check that out. Smooth said, y'all know damn well what I meant. Don't set them ladies up.
I'm not sure what you were talking
He got
about, brother.
potential, ladies.
Not sure what you mean, Smooth. We know what you meant. That's what we said.
He got potential, ladies. He
Right.
got potential.
Trying to confirm or deny it. We just trying to get you some prospects. It's hard out here in 2022 dating and shit.
Yeah, no, we your ultimate wingmen.
No, he's emotionally ready.
Right. Find us over at gftradioshow.com or on our socials, GFT_radio on Twitter and Instagram, GFT Radio on Twitch, or GFT Radio Network on Facebook. Join the conversation group again, facebook.com/group/GFT join the conversation, or listen free on demand. Our replays are 24/7 on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, or watch video
We only
replays on
accept
Twitch,
5 stars.
Facebook, or YouTube. So make sure you check us out. Until next time, Tomorrow, 2 p.m. for the How to Hustle podcast with Hype. Wednesday for Styles and Chevy recap. Friday for Sex with Sunday Live. Sunday for the fans' perspective. We got you covered. Get back at us, and we will catch y'all later. Holla.